Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the day that I had with MotorTrend, Toyota, and taking a look at the new Land Cruiser. So I know a few of you are aware, but recently I had the opportunity to work with MotorTrend on this new segment that they were doing on the new Land Cruiser, or the new Prado 250. They wanted to film the entire day, so we started right at the break of dawn and finished around 8 p.m. just in the middle of the desert. They put me up in a hotel the night before. Right when the sun was rising, I left the hotel, took a 10-minute drive over to the middle of the desert in California City. You know, after the introductions with the crew, which I have to say, the crew are hilarious. I loved working with those guys. They made, it was my first time doing anything like that, and they made the entire experience wonderful. I got to meet the other participants, Mike and Lauren. They brought their 40 series, or is it a 47 series, I think, 45 series? Yeah, I'm not the 40 expert. And we also got to meet Ezekiel, who brought his FJ60. Really clean examples of Land Cruisers, I gotta say. And of course, I brought the rickety old 80 series. The shoot started with us just filming segments on talking about our trucks. They only showed maybe like 5-10 second clips of what was actually said during those parts, but I think each segment took about 20 minutes to film. We did a bunch of takes. I was really nervous. I had never done anything like that, but I had fun. The host, Patrick, great guy. I know he's pretty new to the off-road scene, especially Land Cruisers, but he was so down to just learn about our experiences with it. And, behind the cameras, he was actually talking to us about what's been done and how we've had to do things and different adventures and stuff. So he's a great guy. After filming our little segments, we ended up doing some off-road driving. We were on a private ranch, and it was this whole off-road course that was laid out. We pretty much just did circles around cameras and drones following us and all that. Again, there's not much of that shown on the actual MotorTrend video, but we took our time out there. I had a lot of fun. I would like to go back there again. Apparently they have like 10 acres in the middle of the desert of just all off-road tracks. And then obviously the big meat of the video was the reveal of the new Land Cruiser, or the Prado 250. And I would say the people that they got for this part are very authentic people. I'm very enthusiastic about Land Cruisers, but my actual enthusiasm doesn't really pop up on film, I guess you can say. It goes the same for Ezekiel and Mike. We were so amped to be there. We were amped to see the new Land Cruiser, but at the same time, it's hard to capture it on film. So that part took a lot of takes. Don't get me wrong, I was excited about it. The new Land Cruiser, it's a great vehicle, honestly, and I can see why they attached the Land Cruiser name here in North America, and it's going to be a great vehicle as the GX 550. The thing is, I know a lot of people are turned off by the hybrid motor, but honestly, that thing rips. It's a great motor. And the hybrid technology, you're thinking of Prius, right? You think of gas efficiency and all that, but what you really got to think of is that this is more like Ferrari style, Porsche style, not in the performance specs, obviously, but the way they did it. The way they attached the hybrid part to the actual gas part, it's not completely for saving miles per gallon the way the Prius would. It's more for performance. And I think they did a great job on it. Now, the actual design of the Land Cruiser is really great. I love the look of it. A lot of people say they don't like it, but I really like it. It's a modern Land Cruiser. Design cues from all the previous generations are all there. All the off-road little technical stuff, like the sway bar disconnect, that's pretty awesome. The sliders that are available as options. Multi-terrain select, I don't know what to tell you about that. I haven't used multi-terrain select in ever. Center locking diff, the rear locking diff, standard on all trim levels. That's pretty awesome, something that Toyota hasn't offered in such a long time. So I actually really like the truck. If I wanted to afford it, I would. If I wanted to replace the GX 460 with it, possibly, but maybe I would get the 550 instead. I like the design on the Overtrail a lot better than they have on the actual Land Cruiser. If I were to get the new Land Cruiser, I for sure would try to get the first edition, because all the things that you saw on there was standard, is what they told us. My thoughts on the actual new Land Cruiser after seeing it in person, honestly, I used to be a big hater of it. That's because I come from like the traditional old school Land Cruiser thing. But for people who've never experienced that, they're gonna get a great truck already. And for the people who actually know Land Cruisers, I don't think this thing is gonna upset at all. The way they push back the A-pillar is what really surprised me. Not too many people really pay attention to that, but it was definitely a design that they brought up. By pushing the A-pillar back, it gives the driver better visibility over the hood, but you're not elongating the hood by doing so. What they did was that they stuffed everything that needed to be inside the dash and behind the firewall. They shoved it exterior of where the A-pillar is. So by doing so, It does have a longer hood cowl, but actual engine-based spaces hasn't been elongated. Do I think it's going to be as much of a hardcore off-roader the way the older ones were? Of course not, no. It's not solid axle. It's not the old school technology that we know that's so robust and will last. But then again, it is Toyota. They keep those things in mind. The new Land Cruiser, the new 250, the new GX 550, that platform itself, it's going to stand the test of time, I'm pretty sure. If you want to watch the actual video from MotorTrend, I'll put a link down in the description below. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You know, I love sharing my experiences. I have a lot of fun doing it, and I hope to do it again soon. Thanks again. How many takes is it going to take to film one story? It's like, redo this how many times?